do need to save, but we also have to remember why we're saving. And cryptocurrency is extremely volatile.
Okay.
But when you're making investments into cryptocurrency, what I would always say is just put the money there. I don't even bother looking at it. Jesus wants your worship, not your wallet.
So today we have a very interesting topic. We'll be talking about money, and we have a very important guest with us, our very first time guest.
And without wasting time, let's go ahead and introduce our guest.
Okay. Well, my name is Amechi Okoye. I'm the father of two beautiful young boys and a husband to a beautiful wife, who's Amaka. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so like Amaka mentioned, we're going to be talking about money management, how to make money, how to save money, how to invest money. But before we do that, Amechi, please, can you just give us a brief background about yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yes, like I said, my name is Amechi Okoye. I've been in the United States for close to over 20 years now. When I first came here, I came here for school, like most Nigerians do. I went to the University of Concordia, which was a Lutheran school, university.
What's a Lutheran school, sorry?
Lutheran is more like a Christian school, similar to like, Catholic schools, but this is a Lutheran denomination. So yeah, I went to Concordia University, Wisconsin, to be more specific. I graduated with a degree in finance. After graduating from the University of Concordia, I moved out to California. We got a job out in Nationwide Insurance, worked within the insurance industry for a while before moving up to Portland, Oregon. Went to the University of Portland State to be specific. Got my post-bachelor degree in accounting. Currently I work within the banking industry as a financial risk consultant. I basically handle operational risk, manage operational risk pertaining to the bank, consulting the bank in terms of handling regulations that are being possibly violated by employees and things of that nature. So that's basically my background in a nutshell, for the most part.
That's a very rich background. Yeah, that's a very rich background. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So that's a lot of finance, the insurance, financial risk, operational risk. That is like all around, money, money things.
Yeah. So Zuki, did you have any questions?
Yes, yes. So Amechi, for instance, I've been here, like you said, you've been here for a long time. I've also been here, and Amaka has also been here for a long time. So can you help us, advise or give like good advice on how we can save and invest? Because as immigrants, we didn't grow up, with that culture of savings, right? So I know it was until I moved here to the United States I started hearing about things like generational wealth, how families build wealth for their children, and they teach them to start saving even from childhood, like having what was it called, piggy bank, where you can just save your quarters or pennies, and it builds over time. But going back home, we didn't really have that culture. I don't think I ever had anyone sit me down to say, hey, this is what you should do with money, this is how you should save. And savings in Nigeria is probably a bit different. Like when I worked in Nigeria, I didn't always save. I know there were always things to do with money that came up, right? So I didn't have that culture of saying, okay, you know what, regardless of what happens, I have to have this percentage that goes into savings, into investment. That was a long-winded question, but if you can just help shed more light onto what savings, why we should save, the importance of savings, how savings here in the US probably as immigrants is beneficial. And
I think it's very important for us Christians, even as a Christian, I think, for us to save.
So we have our little one here. He's here to keep us company. So, hello, Paul. You want to say hello? Come on, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think for us, even as Christians, I think it's highly important that we encourage one another in terms of saving, and saving even for retirement. I think that something, even for someone like myself growing up in Nigeria, it's not even within our custom or culture to encourage our youngsters to, like, hey, you need to save. You know, I think the one thing I got from my dad growing up was, oh, you need to be prudent with your money. But there wasn't that encouragement of, oh, you need to set money aside for retirement, but be prudent with your money. I think that's the one thing that most Nigerians need to start learning and having that sense of basically adapting to that notion of having to save beyond just being prudent with your money. I think for me coming here, I had to learn the hard way, because when I first came to America, you know, it was as if I just got dropped, you know, and now set to, you know, left to fend for myself, you know. So I had to learn things the hard way. I learned, you know, I had mistakes that I made, and you know, you learn from your mistakes and you become a better person.
Yes.
So I think saving is highly important. You know, I think for me, you know, I think what I understand, I want to save for retirement, but beyond saving for retirement, as a Christian, I want to actually be able to make time to serve God.
Right.
So if you're able to even save for that, for your early retirement, eventually I can just easily say, you know what, now that I have more time on my hands, I can use that extra time to serve, to go do missionary work, do something that could help out within the community, but geared towards, you know, helping people come to Christ in an essence. So
that's good. Yeah. So introducing our okay, come on, say hello. Say your name. Do you want to say your name? No? You just want to walk through the wires? You want to it's an interesting recording today. Like
We're just having fun.
Oh my God, they're having fun with the kids. But yeah, savings is very important, like you said, saving for retirement, saving for rainy day. You know,
saving for rainy day, saving for an emergency, you know, and just saving to, you know, use your money to work for you and work for God as well.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
How would you differentiate saving? Because now I normally need like financial books, you know, here like emergency fund. So what's the difference between your personal saving and an emergency fund?
I think there are two distinct different things. Like an emergency fund is money that you can have immediately, that you can liquidate right away without having to worry about closing this account or reaching out to the financial company and saying, oh, I need this money, and they're like, okay, we're going to tax you this much, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think you can have separate accounts for that. You can have personal savings where you're just saving for an emergency, or in case you have an expense that you're trying to make down the road. That's what you can save for. A retirement account is something that you set aside for retirement, you know. So I would always encourage anyone, if they're trying to set something up, you can set up obviously your checking account where you have your bills and all that your expenses go to, and a personal savings account where you can have your emergency funds, personal savings towards something that you're trying to save for down the road.
What's the IRA?
And how is it different than Roth IRA?
Okay.
Well, the Roth IRA is basically your the Roth IRA is more like after-tax income that you're setting towards retirement.
Okay, so with the traditional 401k, they don't take tax.
They don't take.
Pre-tax. But with Roth IRA, it's post-tax.
It's post-tax. Okay. Yes,
which one is more money for you?
It doesn't make a difference. You can have both. You can have both. The problem with the 401k is that the 401k you sort of.
You pay tax in the future.
You pay tax in the future, but also the company who's managing your fund. You have a company the company, for instance, that has it set up through. You have it set up with are the ones managing the funds. So there's not much you can do in terms of how to manage your 401k.
Okay.
But for an IRA, for a Roth account, you have the flexibility of placing your money where you want to spend, where you want it to go. Like if I want to just say, okay, I'm going to set up this account and I want to use all the funds to buy, say, Google stock. You know, you can do that.
Okay. So you can do your own trading.
You can do your own trading and all that stuff with your own account. But with a 401k, you don't have that flexibility to do that. You know.
So whichever target fund they put your money in, that's where. So that's interesting. I mean, saving, so it's necessary, it's important. And so when it comes to investment and savings, right, does amounts have, you know, is it relevant in the sense that someone might say, oh, I don't make so much, I don't make 6 figure, I don't have enough to save, right? True. Is that an excuse? Can anyone save? Can anyone invest?
I think anyone can save. And just because you're not making this much money at whatever stage in your life, whatever stage you're in life, to me is not really a good excuse. You can always start off small. There's nothing is so. No company is going to tell you, oh, I only have $10 to invest in every month. And no one's going to say, no, we're not going to take that investment. They're going to say, hey, that's fine. That's enough to get you going.
I see.
You know.
So when it comes to saving, so apart from your emergency funds you just talked about and savings, what else can you put your money in? Like before we started, I think I mentioned cryptocurrency. There's been so much talk about it and I don't know much about it, so can you throw more light on crypto and how you can make money via crypto?
Yeah, so I think with cryptocurrency, is something that if you're
our little visitor
like if you're at a certain stage in your life where you're making sensible, reasonable income, and you have enough money to set aside each month for retirement, it's always recommended, in my opinion, to at least set aside at least 10% of that towards cryptocurrency. Yeah.
Wait,
10 or 5%.
It's like a financial type.
Because it's a high risk. Cryptocurrency is an extremely high risk.
So 10% or 5% your total net income.
Not total net, the total
after tax.
No, total. If what you're setting aside for retirement.
Okay, for retirement. Okay.
So if you're like
retirement.
Yeah, so if you're putting like 500, say for instance you're putting $500 towards retirement each month, 10% of that is 50. So you should go to crypto. The reason why is obviously it's a very high risk investment. You know, it's a sort of investment that goes up.
You can come down.
And then it can come down
just
to
like stocks.
Just like stocks. But cryptocurrency is a higher risk. You know.
Is it because it's volatile?
It's extremely volatile.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile.
Okay.
But when you're making investments into cryptocurrency, you know, what I would always say is just put the money there. I don't even bother looking at it. Because if you're constantly worrying and looking at it, you're going to have a heart attack or high blood pressure worried about. But you know, it's something that you just want to. If you're every month $50 every month, just put it in there. Just forget about it.
Wow.
You know.
And I think for me, what has helped me, like when we're talking about like savings, is like if you feel like you're a spender, like you spend all your money or you don't make as much, it's helpful from my own experience to just like not even see the money at all. So basically, do a like easy deposit where they just take the money immediately. It comes like when they pay your salary or your business. They just take out maybe 50 or $10 from your account. That way you're not even seeing it to even spend. You understand? And I think it's helpful that way. And I know that there are some other traditional methods people do, like all this ajo where people come together and like 10 people they put in money and then at a certain period they get a lump sum of whatever was saved. So I think there are different ways to look at it.
Yeah, there are different ways. And I think also to add to cryptocurrency, if you're going to invest in that, if you're new into cryptocurrency, you always want to, I would recommend just sticking to the top top 2 investments, which is
2-year-old.
which is
2-year-old energy. We need that.
which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can never go wrong with those two. I mean, I've been invested in cryptocurrency since 2016.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
That's a long time, and I've invested in multiple currencies.
Okay.
Some that have failed, some that have.
Is Dogecoin still?
Dogecoin
I knew when it came out, it was like people were really going for it.
People were, people were going for it when there was FOMO. People invest based on emotions, and I always recommend never invest based on your emotion. If you're going to invest in it without worrying about if the price is going up or going down.
Okay.
So
question about that, right? So for instance, if for stock investors, before you invest in any company, you look at the company's financials, you look how profitable they are, what their projections are, right? So okay, this company is profitable. So for crypto, and that's one thing I still can't catch about, like, what are you basing your investment on? You said don't be emotional with investment, but what am I? Is it because I see it's going up? What's the future? Are there different companies that come together? Like, can you just demystify what crypto is? How you make money? If I have, for instance, if I have stock, I know that I can sell some of my stock, get my money, and go buy something. So with crypto, how digital coin, right?
Right. Okay. Like for instance, with Bitcoin for instance is the number 1 cryptocurrency out there, and with crypto, and the beauty about cryptocurrency is that you cannot duplicate it, you cannot forge it, you cannot add to it like inflation.
Okay.
It's not like the naira where you're
regulated.
It's not necessarily regulated, but the people who set up Bitcoin set it up in such a way that there's only going to be a finite number of currencies.
Okay.
So it's not going to exceed, I believe the number is either 26 or 20, between 23 and 26 million. 26 million currencies. So with that in itself, you know that you're not going to exceed that number.
Okay.
So based on that notion, the value over time will go up. Okay. Because the demand for it
is, so the demand is driving the price
up because there's only going to be a finite number, and each year it prints new currencies. It's reducing the supply. So when
these are digital currencies,
they're digital. Physical, right? They're not physical, they're digital. But even with it being digital, it's still finite. It's not going to exceed
a certain amount.
And once it hits that certain amount, that's it. It stops. And what people do is that when they invest in Bitcoin, they hold on to it. They don't spend it. It's like gold. It's like digital gold. When people buy gold, as an investment, they don't just sell it. They just store it for a rainy day as the value goes up. That's the same thing with digital currency. And Bitcoin in particular is digital gold. So as you hold a portion of it, you're actually holding digital gold. Because eventually over time, even though the price of it fluctuates up and down, over time it's going to go up because the supply is going down.
Okay, so if I wanted to tap out, like I need money and I want to, get some money, how do are there people, like, how on the floor they trade stock, right? So is there a place where they trade for that Bitcoin, and if I buy it, if I want to sell to you, is it just that I transfer money to you and then you transfer your Bitcoin to me?
Right, you can have what's called like a digital wallet. Like she has, like, when I first started, I started off with the most basic one, Coinbase. Coinbase is a cryptocurrency financial institution. They do trading, they do financial investments in cryptocurrencies and various currencies.
So let's say you're carrying $1 million crypto or Bitcoin. It's just
you can, like, you go to one of the financial institutions that are regulated by the United States, and either if you can either throw your money in there and change it through them.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So you can give them the Bitcoin and they exchange the money.
Yes, and then when you change, they can give you the equivalent in dollar,
So what are other ways you think, like what are other money making, like how can people apart from the 9-to-5 jobs, if you want to be enterprising or how can they make money outside their 9-to-5 jobs?
I think for me, I think other safe ways to make money will be like, obviously you can set up like a brokerage account and invest in what we call dividend stocks that will pay you dividends each month. It will not pay you an income right away, a substantial amount of income right away, but over time, as you're building your wealth, eventually it will get to the point where that dividend income you're making turns into regular income. I know a few people that actually have been doing this for close to 20 years. They started off in this investing gradually in stocks that were paying them dividends. They were doing it for 20 years, and after that, within 20 years,
they had so much
coming in that they just ended up quitting.
Wow.
I was invested in Apple a few years ago.
Wow, man, Apple right now is so expensive.
Yeah. I remember 4 years ago, I had 4 shares of Apple. And then all of a sudden, I got word that they were splitting the stock into 4. That one share of $100 will turn into $25, but it to be 4 shares. But over time, the stock grows. So now the shares that initially had it at the price I initially had it at 4 years ago has now jumped up to the current price that it is now. Right. So real estate now is a good investment.
It is. Yeah, that was going to be the next angle I was going to ask. So real estate, how can one invest in? I mean, interest rates are so high right now, and down payment. Like, how do you even go about investing in real estate if you wanted to?
Yeah, right now it's really challenging now. If you're talking about investing here in America, it's a challenge now because interest rates, like you said, are extremely high. The market is right now is not conducive for homeowners.
New homeowners.
But the good beauty about real estate is that nothing ever stays stagnant forever. Things eventually change, where things become more of a buyer's market. So I think if one is patient enough with time, things will turn around and you'll be able to invest. Like when we first bought our house, it was initially when we were first jumping into the market, it wasn't conducive yet at that time. But when things started turning around, that's when we decided to jump in and purchase a house. At the time, interest rates were down. And even as they were down at that point, my interest rate was still a little high. But over time, I was able to refinance.
Okay, so Amechi, so another question I had was, for instance, knowing that real estate, like we just finished discussing, is quite expensive to buy here, is it smart to invest back home in Nigeria where we don't have that real estate challenge, and then we don't have that interest rate challenge, and maybe real estate is a bit cheaper back home? Is it wise to invest back home? I think
it depends on who you're doing business with. I think with Nigeria, you just have to be very sharp because in Nigeria things, if you're not careful, someone can scam you, or you give them your money, then that money will not see your brake light anymore, to just disappear. So I think in Nigeria, yes, there are opportunities to invest in Nigeria, but it's just knowing the right people and the right connections, and that's it really. I mean, I personally don't have a problem in investing in real estate in Nigeria. It's just, like I said, knowing the right people and knowing who to give your money to.
One of the things that when I first came to America that was like culture shock was like credit and your credit score. So I was like, okay, so if you could share with us how important credit score is in America, and like ways to basically like boost your credit score, because I know that it took me a while to like build my credit, and I know so if you can first tell us, like, why is credit important? What's the big deal with credit?
I think when it comes to also building credit, it's not always about just paying your bill on time, but it's also about making multiple payments towards your balance.
What does that mean?
So basically, if you have a bill that's due today, people making consistent payments and multiple payments towards what they owe, because it shows that you're actually trying to pay off your balance. So what I do personally is, if I have a bill that's due next month for say $1,000, instead of me paying that 1,000 at next month, I pay multiple payments of that within that
payment period.
Within that payment period, so I can pay like 300 today, 400 today, 200 today. I mean, that's one of the tricks I've learned in building credit.
Oh, that's good to know, because normally I would just like to get it over and done with. So, but it's good to know.
I would always recommend. Yes, you can do that, but if you want to
build,
elevate it even higher, make multiple payments all at once.
Okay.
So that they see that, because everything that you're doing is recorded. All your payments are pre-recorded. So as you're making your payments, they're recording three payments here all at once within a month, showing that you're making payments towards your balance.
Okay. I mean, that's good to know. So I think let's bring it back, because I think we've been talking generally, like, as Christians, why do we need, like, what's the importance of having good savings culture? I don't know if Jesus, is there anywhere in the Bible where it talks about savings or investing?
I don't know.
It talks about putting your money in your treasure in heaven. I don't know if that's.
I think one thing about the one thing that Pastor Paul said I think it was the last or service or two services ago that really struck me. Says Jesus wants your worship, not your wallet. That's
true.
And I think that's really. I think as far as us Christians, we tend to get carried away with money and forgetting the ultimate prize, which is heaven. So it's having that balancing act. Yes, we do need to save, but we also have to remember why we're saving, and also, where we're going eventually. It shouldn't be all about, my ultimate goal is just to save money. Okay, after you're retired and you pass away, where is that money going to follow you to heaven? No. So you should have that balance, and also as you're doing it, carry God along with you. And I think for me personally, as I'm saving, my ultimate goal is to eventually save enough money to retire, where I eventually can then use my free time to help others and volunteer my time. So it's not just about, I'm saving for retirement and I'm selfish, I'm moving to Nigeria and that's it. I'm going to enjoy my life and balance and that's it. Nothing else beyond that.
There's an end goal in mind.
There's an end goal.
The kingdom of God. What age is the ideal age to retire? I know federal age is like 65.
I think the federal age, from what I understand, they want to increase it to 67.
They want to keep our money more.
I mean,
that's all I can think about. Oh my God.
Ideally, I would want to retire at 55.
There's some 70-year-olds that are still working,
Yeah, but most of those folks that work, that work beyond that are doing it because they just want to do it.
That's true. Thank you so much, Amici, for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
A good and clean and chaotic and fantastic everything episode. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for watching. So please like, subscribe, share, comment. We hope that you have learned a lot from this episode. Give us your feedback. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And let us know if you want us to have a part 2 of this with Amici coming back to give us
thank you.
More info, more details.
Yeah, thank you. We'll settle at the after.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Alright, bye-bye.
Why is Xavier turning the lights on and off? Xavier, please, can you stop? Okay. So, Amaka, what other questions do you have? Please please now, Paul, I'll buy you chewing gum. Please now, I'll give you chewing gum.
And if you have like a financial bank, like say US Bank or whatever, you can transfer it from there to your account.
I see.
If your credit is not good,
It's not good. They won't let you.
they will not hire you.
Right.
There are positions in my company right now.
No, look at that thing.
Xavier, stop. Their position never hire you
Oh, really?
because they will see that as a that.
So they check your credit score.
Yes.
Xavier, can you come out, please? Can you?
Positions run in the bank, so credit is really important. And in terms of building credit, hey.
This episode there, this is like fun episode. I think I'll put all of this as back in the background, as you know, like children.
They don't want to hear what.
Oh my God, you can't even tell, like, all they know is, man, I have to have fun here, okay? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay.